In the great mystery of human existence, perhaps no question carries more spiritual weight than determining the precise moment when a soul enters the physical vessel. This profound inquiry transcends religious boundaries and speaks to the very essence of our spiritual nature. Throughout history, mystics, spiritual teachers, and seekers have contemplated three distinct possibilities. Does the soul enter at conception, when the heart begins to beat, or when the newborn takes its first breath and cries? Each perspective carries profound implications for how we understand our spiritual journey. The ancient wisdom teachings suggest that the soul's entrance is not merely a biological event, but a sacred threshold crossing, a pivotal moment in the cosmic journey of consciousness. When we examine these teachings closely, we find that they offer us glimpses into the intricate dance between spirit and matter. In the early 20th century, the renowned intuitive Cayce offered remarkable insights into this mystery. Through his readings, he suggested that the soul's entry isn't necessarily fixed to a single universal moment for all beings, but may vary according to the soul's own journey and purpose. This perspective invites us to consider that the timing of ensoulment might be as unique as the soul itself. The conception viewpoint holds that the moment when sperm meets egg, when two cells unite to form something entirely new, creates an energetic opening through which the soul enters. This perspective sees conception not merely as a biological process, but as a sacred invitation. The flash of new life at the cellular level creates a spiritual beacon that draws the waiting soul toward its chosen vessel. Proponents of this view point to the immediate and dramatic changes that occur at conception. The moment of fertilization triggers an explosion of cellular activity, and a completely unique genetic blueprint emerges, one that has never existed before and will never exist again. This singularity, they suggest, represents the perfect moment for the soul to begin its new journey. Many ancient traditions teach that the soul exists in a state of readiness before incarnation, having made agreements and chosen specific life circumstances for its growth. In this understanding, the soul doesn't randomly enter a body but selects its vessel with intention, guided by higher wisdom and the lessons it seeks to learn. The conception perspective also acknowledges the sacred role of parents as gatekeepers between the spiritual and physical realms. The union that creates the possibility of new life is seen as a sacred act that opens a doorway between dimensions, allowing the soul to begin its journey into materiality. What makes this perspective particularly powerful is the recognition that life's beginning transcends the merely physical. Even at its earliest stages, the new life contains not just biological potential, but spiritual essence, a divine spark that animates the developing form from its very inception. Yet this view also raises profound questions. If the soul enters at conception, what happens in cases where the embryo divides to create identical twins? Does the original soul divide as well, or does a second soul enter? And what of the many fertilized eggs that naturally fail to implant? These mysteries remind us that our understanding remains limited, inviting humility as we explore these sacred waters. The conception perspective asks us to recognize the profound spiritual dignity present at life's earliest moments. It suggests that our journey as spiritual beings doesn't begin with self-awareness or conscious thought, but exists from the very flash of our biological beginning, a continuous thread of consciousness weaving through every stage of our development. This view invites us to contemplate our own spiritual origins, to reach back through memory to that primordial moment when our soul first connected with physical form. Though beyond conscious recall, this moment remains imprinted in the deepest layers of our being, influencing our journey in ways we may only dimly perceive. As we reflect on this perspective, we're invited to honor the profound mystery of our beginnings and to recognize that, from our very first cellular moments, we exist as both physical and spiritual beings, souls embarking on a journey of discovery, growth, and eventual awakening to our true nature. In the vast tapestry of spiritual understanding, conception represents far more than a biological event. It is a cosmic gateway through which consciousness transitions from the non-physical into material form. This sacred threshold marks the beginning of the soul's earthly journey, a moment when the infinite enters the finite realm of time and space. When we view conception through this spiritual lens, we recognize it as a multi-dimensional event, a convergence of energies that creates an opening between worlds. Just as physical gateways connect different geographical locations, conception forms an energetic portal connecting the soul's realm with the physical dimension. Ancient wisdom traditions across cultures have long recognized the profound significance of this moment. In Vedic teachings, conception is described as the point when the Jivatman, individual soul, connects with its new physical vehicle, guided by the karmic patterns it seeks to resolve. Native American traditions speak of conception as the moment when the Great Spirit breathes purpose into new life. These diverse perspectives share a common understanding. Conception represents a sacred covenant between soul and matter. The portal that opens at conception isn't merely passive. It possesses an intelligent resonance that attracts the specific soul whose energetic signature matches the unique vibrational pattern created by the union of parental energies. Like a lock that can only be opened by its matching key, each conception creates a distinct energetic signature that calls to the soul whose journey aligns with it. This understanding transforms how we perceive the miracle of conception. Beyond the merging of genetic material, a profound synchronization occurs between cosmic forces and earthly elements. The soul, carrying its accumulated wisdom and chosen purpose, recognizes its opportunity and moves toward incarnation through this temporary opening between realms. Many spiritual teachers suggest that the soul makes agreements before incarnation, sacred contracts with other souls who will play significant roles in its upcoming journey. Parents are not randomly selected, but are chosen by the incarnating soul based on the lessons, challenges, and growth opportunities they offer. Conception thus represents the first fulfillment of these pre-birth agreements, the moment when soul commitments begin to manifest in physical reality. The conception portal remains open during the early stages of embryonic development, allowing the soul to gradually acclimate to physical form. This explains why many intuitive individuals report sensing a soul's presence, even in the earliest weeks of pregnancy. The energetic signature of the incoming soul becomes increasingly perceptible as it establishes its connection with the developing physical form. During this sacred window, the soul begins imprinting its unique spiritual blueprint onto the developing physical form. This explains why identical twins, despite sharing identical DNA, often display markedly different personalities and life paths. Each twin embodies a distinct soul with its own journey and purpose. The physical body develops according to genetic coding, while the spiritual essence shapes the more subtle aspects of being. Those with heightened sensitivity sometimes report perceiving colors, light, or energy surrounding newly pregnant women, visual manifestations of the soul's presence as it begins anchoring itself to physical form. These perceptions reflect the profound energetic shifts that accompany a soul's entry through the conception portal. The cosmic portal perspective also illuminates why conception often occurs when it seems least likely or after long periods of trying. The soul chooses not just its parents, but its timing, waiting for the precise convergence of circumstances that will best serve its journey. What appears as chance from a material perspective reveals itself as divine orchestration when viewed through spiritual understanding. This understanding carries profound implications for how we perceive human life from its earliest moments. If conception opens a portal through which a soul enters with purpose and intention, then each new life represents not merely biological potential, but the continuation of an eternal spiritual journey, a soul's conscious choice to experience earthly existence for its growth and evolution. The cosmic portal perspective invites us to recognize the profound spiritual dignity present at life's earliest moments. It suggests that our journey as conscious beings doesn't begin with self-awareness or developed brain function, but exists from the flash of conception, a continuous thread of consciousness weaving through every stage of our development. For those who have experienced pregnancy, this understanding may resonate with the inexplicable knowing that many report, a sense of connection with the incoming soul that transcends physical awareness. This intuitive recognition reflects the soul-to-soul communication that begins at conception and continues throughout pregnancy as the bond between incarnating soul and physical vessel strengthens. As we contemplate the mystery of conception as a cosmic portal, we're invited to expand our understanding beyond the material into the realm of sacred purpose. Each conception represents not an accident or mere biological function, but a divinely orchestrated opportunity for a soul to continue its eternal journey of awakening, choosing to temporarily forget its vast nature to experience the precious gift of human life with all its challenges, joys, and opportunities for growth. Among the most profound spiritual perspectives on ensoulment is the ancient understanding that the heart, not the brain, serves as the true throne of the soul. This wisdom, echoed across diverse traditions from Egyptian mysticism to indigenous teachings, suggests that the first heartbeat marks the moment when the soul fully commits to its physical journey. When we listen closely to this perspective, we discover a profound truth. The heart is far more than a biological pump. It is the primary instrument through which the soul expresses its presence in physical form. The heart begins pulsing remarkably early in embryonic development, usually between 16-22 days after conception, often before the mother even knows she is pregnant. This first rhythmic beating creates an electromagnetic field that extends beyond the physical boundaries of the developing body, establishing what mystics describe as the soul's energetic anchor in material reality. The heartbeat perspective acknowledges the transitional nature of ensoulment. Rather than viewing the soul's entry as instantaneous, it recognizes a gradual process of incarnation that begins at conception but culminates when the heart establishes its rhythm. This heartbeat creates the vibrational signature that fully activates the soul's presence, transforming potential life into unsouled being. This understanding is reflected in the etymology of many words for soul across languages. In Latin traditions, the word cardio, heart, shares roots with core spiritual concepts. In Egyptian hieroglyphs, the heart symbol represented not just the physical organ, but the seat of intelligence, emotion, and spiritual identity. These linguistic connections reveal an ancient recognition that heart and soul are inextricably linked. The heart's primacy as the soul's throne is supported by modern scientific discoveries that were anticipated in Cayce's readings decades earlier. The heart contains its own intrinsic nervous system, often called the heart brain, with over 40,000 neurons that function independently from the cranial brain. This heart-centered neural network can sense, feel, learn, and remember on its own, suggesting it serves as a sophisticated interface between soul and body. Even more remarkably, the heart generates the body's most powerful electromagnetic field, 5,000 times stronger than that produced by the brain. This field extends several feet beyond the physical body and changes its patterns in response to emotions and consciousness. When viewed through spiritual understanding, this electromagnetic field represents the outer edge of the soul's energy as it extends beyond physical limitations. The heartbeat perspective offers profound insights into the soul's journey. The rhythmic pulse serves as the soul's first expression of its unique signature in physical form. Each heartbeat pattern is as distinctive as a fingerprint, reflecting the individual soul's energetic essence. This explains why modern medical research has discovered that heart transplant recipients sometimes experience personality changes and new memories. Aspects of the donor's soul energy remain imprinted in the transplanted heart. Ancient healing traditions recognize this truth. Chinese medicine centers its entire understanding of health around heart energy. In the Taoist tradition, the heart is described as the emperor of all organs, the sovereign ruler whose influence extends throughout the entire system. When the heart is in harmony, the entire being finds balance. This isn't merely poetic language, but reflects the heart's role as the primary physical anchor for the soul's presence. The heart-centered view of ensoulment also illuminates the profound connection between emotion and spirit. The heart responds instantly to emotional states, changing its rhythm and energetic patterns in harmony with feelings of love, fear, gratitude, or anger. This responsiveness reflects the heart's role as the primary instrument through which the soul experiences and expresses emotion, the bridge between spiritual awareness and physical experience. This perspective offers comfort to those who have experienced early pregnancy loss. If the soul fully anchors with the heartbeat, then lives lost before this milestone may represent souls who came to the threshold but chose not to fully incarnate at that time. This understanding honors the spiritual significance of these brief connections without assuming the full weight of a completed soul journey. For those who walk spiritual paths, the heart-centered understanding of ensoulment offers practical wisdom for daily life. By returning awareness to the heart through meditation, contemplative practice, or simply attentive breathing, we reconnect with our soul's primary physical anchor. The heart becomes both compass and sanctuary, guiding us toward authentic purpose while providing refuge in challenging times. Some spiritual traditions teach that at the moment of death, the soul departs through the same portal through which it entered, the heart. The final heartbeat mirrors the first, creating a sacred symmetry that honors the circular nature of the soul's journey. What began with the first pulse completes with the last, as the soul transitions from physical experience back to its native non-physical state. The heartbeat perspective reminds us that the first cry, while significant, represents not the soul's entry, but its announcement, a declaration of its presence already established through the heart's rhythm. This first breath connects the individual soul with the collective breath of humanity, expanding the heart's influence to encompass the respiratory system and further anchoring the soul's presence. As we reflect on these interconnected perspectives, conception as opening, heartbeat as anchoring, and first breath as announcement, we recognize that each honors a different aspect of the soul's gradual incarnation. Rather than contradicting each other, they reveal the sequential nature of the soul's entry, a process unfolding across time rather than a single moment. In contemplating when the soul enters the body, we ultimately face the limitations of linear thinking when addressing non-linear mysteries. The soul exists beyond time, yet expresses through time. It transcends space, yet manifests within it. Whatever perspective resonates most deeply with your own intuitive knowing, the essential truth remains. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, temporarily clothed in physical form, but eternally connected to the infinite source from which all souls emerge and to which all eventually return. If these teachings about the soul's journey resonated with you, take a moment to subscribe now for more spiritual insights that bridge ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Share your own perspective in the comments below. When do you believe the soul enters the body? Your unique viewpoint adds to this sacred conversation and helps others on their spiritual journey. Hit that notification bell to join our growing community of seekers exploring life's deepest mysteries together.